Yo, this is Soul Drum 86 bringing you another video. So 2K, I guess, is blessing us with four different covers, or four different versions, I guess you could also say, of the game. Now, before I start this video, I just want to say, like, it's always crazy to me every year how a lot of people just get so amped up and hyped up for 2K, only to eventually start sounding like the way that I sound in these videos. Now, they might sound a little bit nicer about it. They may not be as animated about it. They may not be as passionate about it when they're talking, but they end up talking about a lot of the issues. Year in and year out, you know, people get excited about the same little incremental details, the same little small little updates, oh, they finally added in this match type, only to then not play those match types after about a week or two, just like what happened with the ambulance matches and the casket matches. They'll add in certain weapons. Oh, it was cool that they finally added in these weapons. People are excited about the thumbtacks. Oh, they finally added in the thumbtacks. But how many times are you actually going to utilize thumbtacks? You're not going to utilize them in every single match. You're going to test it out when you first get it. You're probably going to use it a little bit in universe mode whenever you have some sort of hardcore match or you want some crazy spot to happen during some type of match or whatever. But eventually it just kind of all goes away and just kind of falls flat. It happens all the time. Universe mode details like the promos edition, be adding promos last year. Everybody was excited about it. I was even intrigued about it, but promos ended up being worse than when they were implemented into the game before. It was pretty bad before, but at least they were longer promos. Promos were a very quick cutscene this year. Very quick cutscene. Wasn't much to them. And, eventually, what did you hear people talking about? How promos really weren't that great. They still liked it because it broke up the monotony of what universe mode usually is. And it was nice to kind of add into your show, but it still wasn't enough. Now, I know it's safe to say that they probably did expand on promos this year, but how much? You don't know. Draft is finally added in the universe mode. People are getting excited about that. But then again, it's like, well, it is just a draft mode. It's not anything groundbreaking. It's been in games before, not 2K games, but it's been in games before, back in the THQ days. Will it be as cool as when THQ added it in their game? Probably not. I mean, it's safe to say that with 2K, when they add things in the game, it is very half-assed. It is very just mediocre. And so it's just kind of crazy to me that people fall into the trap of getting excited about 2K even before we find out any real gameplay details. We hear rumors that usually turn out to be true. We see these little teasers where it's fun to pick apart and find little clues. And then they introduce to us special edition covers. And then we get excited about it. But we know that 4 months down the line after the game releases, probably even sooner, there's going to be a lot of complaints. There's going to be some game-breaking issues with the game. There's going to be issues with the draft. I can guarantee that there's probably going to be glitches in the draft where whenever that happens, guys who were drafted to Raw, you'll play your universe mode, and they'll still be on SmackDown. People who were drafted to SmackDown, they'll still be on, on Raw. I really do feel like these issues are going to happen. So why do we really get excited about this? Is it for clicks? Right? When a lot of these content creators get excited about the game and they have no pause in their excitement. They have no, all right, let's kind of pump the brakes a little bit. When they're just overly excited, is it about the clicks? Is it really how they truly feel? Because I mean, year in and year out, we're left being disappointed in some type of way with 2K, in multiple ways even. A lot of us find our favorite mode our favorite thing to do in the game, and so we latch on to that, and so that is what helps us say the game is great or the game is good. But overall, as a package, as a complete package, it is just the previous year's game, copy and paste, with just a small little update added to it. Or I should say a few little updates added to it. And even when they make these updates sound great, they're really not that great. And I don't think that this is a company that has warranted our excitement. If anything, we should be wanting them to do better. You have a lot of people who make these videos and they say, oh, I hope it's not the case that XYZ. But 2K has shown us that they're going to do XYZ. They're not going to say, oh, you know what? We're not going to make you pay more for this or lock this behind this mode and lock this behind this. Like, no, listen, all of these special edition covers will have something that is tied just directly to that specific version of the game. It happened last year and it happened the year before that. So, and it happened with 2K22. So it's not like 2K is giving up on that business model. So for anybody who's thinking that, oh, maybe they're going to do this differently, or maybe no, they're not going to get better in terms of being more customer friendly. It's going to be, hey, if you want this, then you got to pay. If you want this, then you got to pay this price. If you want this, then you have to pay this price. And on top of that, we already know that we're not getting physical copies of the special editions. We're only going to get the physical copy of the standard edition. And at this point in time, I don't even really know if that's the case. I mean, yes, most likely the standard edition will be an edition that you can buy in your local Walmart, Target, or Best Buy. But last year, when they made the Undertaker edition digital as well, that was very surprising to me. Very, very surprising to me. And you know, we can get excited about these digital covers that we won't even have a poster for to hang up or anything like that, or a poster just to admire the cool artwork. I mean, at the end of the day, why are we really getting excited about 2K26? Are we getting excited about the idea of 2K26 and what it could be? Are we getting excited about 2K because it's a habit? Right. And this is why I said this in a video not too long ago. It was like late last year when I made a 2K video, and I talked about, are people more so excited about 2K because it's out of habit? I don't think that people are necessarily excited about 2K because 2K is this great game. Because to me, in my opinion, it's not a great game. It's a very mediocre game. It's a game where when they add in new modes and new features, they're very half-assed. So at the end of the day, again, I ask, is this out of habit that people get excited for the game? Is it for their YouTube channels? Is it for, you know, engagement so they can have the views and they can have the clicks and it can get people involved and get people excited? But I mean, at the end of the day, when you do something repeatedly, a lot of the times it can become a habit. It's more of a habit than you are genuinely excited for the game. I know a lot of people might come to this channel, to this video, and say, well, no, I am actually excited for the game. And if you are, that's all good. You know what I mean? Like, if you're somebody who is genuinely excited, you love these games, there's really not any problem that you have with it. Because I've seen people like that where 2K is okay for them, right? It's almost damn near the perfect game for them. But for everybody else, for the people who do eventually start sounding the way that I sound in my videos, are you really excited, or is it just out of habit? Here's another reason why I say that is because a lot of these people, they do say it without saying it in their videos. They'll say, I always play these games every year. I've always played these games every year. Right? And that's what they give the excuse for why they're excited. But with that, doesn't that kind of tell you that it's more out of habit than out of like true excitement for the game? Because every single time they add a feature and we get excited about it, oh, they finally added this match type and they finally added these weapons. And then eventually when the game comes out and then those people bring up those things, they say, well, it wasn't enough. They brought back promos, but it wasn't enough. 2-night PLEs, people went crazy for. But it wasn't enough, because eventually people started to realize, well, this is just the same old universe mode. There's really nothing new. When people start playing the game after a couple of weeks, it's like, oh, well, this feels like last year. Yeah, once the new wears off, once that newness wears off, and you get to mess with all the features and mess with all the new little details of the game, right? Like, oh, it was cool to be able to change the camera angle during a wrestler's entrance. It was cool to be able to change the camera during a match. But eventually it wears off. And eventually you're like, well, this is last year's game. It just has a couple new things. And actually it has some things that were taken away. When you interfere in somebody's entrance, it's a cutscene now. You don't have the full control that you used to have. 2K is a game, it's a company that takes away, and then they expect you to pay more. These additions are going to cost more. But what are you really paying for? You're paying for an experience that is mediocre. You're paying for an experience that is going to force you and ask you to buy the game the next year, the very next year. Because if you do keep 2K25, if you do keep 2K26 and say, you know what, I'm not going to really get 2K27. Well, eventually 2K26, 2K25, they'll be useful. Like, you'll be able to play the game, but the online aspect of the game will be shut down. You won't even be able to access community creations. So it's like, you better download all the calls you need, better download all the arenas, better download all the superstars that you want, because eventually you're not going to be able to access it anymore. And so then what does that leave? Well, I got to buy the new game. If you want everything all at once and you don't want to pay too much more after your purchase, then you're left at buying the $150 copy. But again, you're spending $150 on what? What type of experience? I don't think you're really getting a great gaming experience. It's the same old, same old. It's copy and paste with some added new features. They're trying to make something old pretty again. They're just using a different paintbrush every year. Look, we did this, but you failed to do a lot of the things that the community asks for. The gameplay is still very dull and boring. After a few matches in a 2K game, you really don't want to play anymore. After setting up universe mode and how often that takes, eventually you're like, I don't even want to play these matches. And I just set up my Monday Night Raw. I just set up my SmackDown. I just set up my PLE. I don't even want to play it, because all of that time that it took to construct and build and create, when you start to actually really get to play the game, you really don't want to play the game. And I've seen this said from other people, not just myself. I've experienced it, but I've heard other people experience it. The very people that are excited about the game now off of stuff where we haven't even gotten a trailer yet. We haven't even gotten a trailer yet. But yet everybody is excited about the game. Why? It's not a problem to be excited about the game. Please don't misunderstand me. It's not a problem. If you're excited, be excited. But what I'm trying to say is, for the people who eventually start to sound like me and start to say about the broken issues and how patches break this thing, and then when they do another patch, it fixes that thing, but then it breaks another thing, and it causes so many different game breaking issues, right? It's all these game breaking things within modes, within the gameplay. People have asked for so much gameplay wise. We haven't gotten it yet. People have asked for so much in My Rise. Haven't gotten it yet. People ask for so much, and year after year after year after year, they ignore the fans until they can't ignore them anymore. And then when they finally implement it into the game, it is not enough. It is half-assed. So why are we excited when we haven't even seen anything yet other than covers of a game? And then you have this hopium of maybe 2K won't charge this much. Maybe 2K will do this differently and do that differently. No, the business model has already been set. That's how companies work. That's how corporations work. Once they see that they got you, they'll never let go. But it's up to us to get them to change the way that they do things, but we don't do it. Because as mad as we get, as frustrated as we get, we can point out all the flaws. We can point out, hey, they didn't do this. Maybe you should do this. Maybe you should add this. We can do that all day. But we got to stick to it, because after we do all that complaining, after we point out all of the flaws, after we do everything that I just talked about, we can't just turn around and be like, oh, the trailer looks pretty, or oh, they added in this superstar. I'm excited now because they added in shopping carts and thumbtacks, because that changes the experience. That makes 2K great again. But it doesn't. It doesn't. It's a Band-Aid over a bleeding wound that you didn't even stop the bleeding yet. You know how, like, before you put a Band-Aid on, you want to stop the bleeding before you put the Band-Aid on. You don't just want to wrap something over, because it's just going to continue to bleed through the bandage. We can't keep getting excited about these small little details. We have to listen, or we have to start talking with our wallet. And not in a way of, I'm going to buy it day one, I'm going to pre-order it. We got to show them that they can't just continue to get us with these small little things, and we turn around and we're like, all is right with the world again. This is what I don't understand about the 2K community. I understand if wrestling games are what you've played since you were a kid. I've played them since I was a kid. I understand that 2K is the only real wrestling experience if you want a wrestling game with a lot of features and detailed graphics. I understand. What I don't understand is continuing to get excited for a game, continuing to pre-order a game, continuing to buy the most expensive version of a game, and after spending more money on the game, depending on what game mode you're playing, only to then have to do everything all over again the next year. People who play my faction, your stuff doesn't even carry over. You just have to continue to do it year in and year out. You have to spend the money if you're going to be somebody who spends the money on these packs year in and year out, on top of paying for probably the most expensive version of the game. And now they're giving you 4 different versions of the game to choose for. So what about the people who can't afford to spend the money on these bigger editions? What about the people who are stuck with just buying the standard edition? They're eventually going to have to buy everything that comes with the other editions. So that's more money. So it's like, well, you might as well get the Attitude Era edition, or the Monday Night Wars edition, or now the King of Kings edition. But for what type of experience? For a half-assed experience that's going to have a lot of broken details in the game? I couldn't do it anymore, guys. This is why I stopped playing 2K. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't be a part of that anymore. I'm still making videos because there's still a lot to be said about this franchise, because it's a franchise that, on one hand, I understand why it's still popular, but at the same time, they've done so much to lose so many people that they haven't lost yet. And they haven't lost them because it's WWE. The reason why people still buy 2K is because of Stone Cold. The reason why people still buy WWE 2K is because of Shawn Michaels, because of The Rock, because of Hulk Hogan, because of Ultimate Warrior, because of Andre the Giant, because of the history of WWE. That is why this game survives. It's just like Madden. People know Madden is not that great anymore, but it's the only NFL game to play. So what are people going to do when they love football? Same thing is starting to happen with NBA 2K. NBA 2K has no competition. So the only thing that they only make the game for people who play my rec and my park and, the my career stuff. They don't make it for the offline players anymore. That's why they don't really add to the game in that aspect anymore. There's no competition for them to do so they don't really care. These are my thoughts, man. It's okay to be excited, but We all know what's going to happen about 2-3 months after the game releases. We already know what's going to happen. Videos are going to slow down. People are going to start telling the truth about the game after being so excited. After being so excited, as if everything 2K has done in its history doesn't matter anymore. I don't know, man. It's your boy Soul Drum 86, and I'm out. Peace.